1,000 subscribers. Well, actually it's at 1,200 as of this moment because of having very little time to make any videos, but nonetheless here we are. I am absolutely grateful for all of you for supporting me throughout my journey of making videos, tutorials, and other stuff in this channel. It has been an honor to be a part of this community, and I still hope that I can continue providing you guys with the quality content that all of us can enjoy. And with that being said, let's answer some questions.
Hi, where are you from?
Alright, first question of the day. When did you start getting interested in making videos on YouTube? Well, generally when the pandemic started. It was like a moment where I was just really bored, but in the process I also found a purpose for uploading. How did you start creating content? I honestly remember back about a year ago where I would record my audio in my closet and record on my old GoPro, which only had like 30 minutes of filming per battery, and I only had one at a time, so it felt like really limited. But I'm glad I persevered through the slow process because, well, look at me now. What's your yo-yoing pet peeve? I honestly don't like the term yo-yo. I don't even see the reason why they called it that, but then again, here I am making reviews on them. What made you interested in throwing? It honestly really took off for me because no one else around me was doing it, and I wanted to have something unique about myself, and so that. What breathing techniques do you use? I'm not the biggest fan of water breathing or any other style. Mine's quite different actually, it's called asthma. Where did the name Scayanite come from? The night sky. Then I just swapped the order of the two words and it became Scayanite, and I just changed how it's spelled so you can look it up on almost any platform and you'll find me. How did you start yo-yoing? Funny story actually, I was at a birthday party with a family friend and they were playing a game called Bring Me. I was at one of the tables and when the host shouted, "Bring me something that starts with the letter F." Then my sister gave me this foam star that she had from a previous event we were at, and from peer pressure I outran every other kid in that game. Well, I was in middle school so it kinda makes sense. Then once I got there, I was given this cheap dollar store looking ass Avengers themed yo-yo that I played around for a bit. Then it pretty much went uphill from that point. What content do you want to do for a change? I've always been interested in streaming while playing games and other things, as well as reviewing other tech stuff like phones or maybe custom PC stuff, so we'll see. Who are your inspirations for your videos? Well, before I started my channel, there were a few channels that did yo-yo content, and so I watched Braydon Bench, Yoyo and Yotricks obviously. And outside the yo-yoing community, I had Coop772 as an inspiration for how I categorize and organize my reviews. And for everything else, I was actually inspired by JobbyTheHong, which has a bit more adult content, but he is quite funny and I do take a lot of inspiration from his content.
What about bubble?
He's the one that actually gave me the idea of size comparisons. What's your favorite yo-yo? In terms of designs, I'm really into the Yo-Yo Recreation Valkyrie. It's almost what I've always wanted on a yo-yo. But in terms of playability, this might come as surprising, but the Magic Yo-Yo Wolfgang has always been interesting to me in terms of how it plays. Next question. If you had one superpower, what would it be? Hypothetically, super speed would be really helpful. How long do you typically edit your videos? It generally takes about an entire day to complete a whole video, but the part that takes the longest to do is getting everything prepared. What's your favorite style aside from 1A? I haven't played with any of the other styles in a while, but 4A has always been my go-to in terms of playing for fun. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it though. What are your other hobbies? I actually made a video about this a long time ago, but my other hobbies include playing video games like Overwatch, Valorant, and Tetris, and I also watch a few shows and some anime, like My Hero Academia and a few more. Some of you may have even noticed that in some of my openers and tricks, I named them off things from the games I play or the shows I watch. What's your top 5 favorite anime? My Hero Academia, Fire Force, Assassination Classroom, Spy X Family, and I haven't finished Blue Lock, but I've heard that's pretty badass, so I'm giving that a shot. What's the hardest yo-yo trick for you to master? Honestly, the hardest trick to do is quite subjective to the person, because some people can do C-Sick, while some people can do a 4.0 hook. So for me, the hardest trick is generally taking off the C-clips. Have you ever competed? If so, where and what placement? I have competed, twice actually, and it's not exactly my strong suit. I'm more focused on content creation rather than the competitions because I'm not exactly consistent with my tricks. Throughout your yo-yo journey, what was the most important thing that you've learned that you can advise to beginners?
Patience.
And also try not to spend too much on cheaply priced yo-yos if you can go for better. When it comes to yo-yos, price does have a difference in quality. What are your plans this 2023? I honestly don't have much planned since things are going quite busy outside the channel, but aside from my personal life, I still do have a lot of yo-yos to review and I'm still looking forward to creating more videos for you guys. Next question, what's the difference between speed and momentum in your reviews? Great question. Speed is how easy it is to move the yo-yo from a still position where only the yo-yo is moved in air. And momentum is how easy it is to change the yo-yo's direction with the use of string bounces. Here's a better example. A quick way to test this yourself is try swinging the yo-yo around without it touching any strings aside from the one it's attached to. And for momentum, this test is the one I tend to use. Face reveal? No, I'm not showing my face. What inspired you to start creating content? If it's about the yo-yoing kind of content, it's mainly due to the fact that aside from Braydon, Joe, and some other YouTubers, I couldn't find a really well-rounded type of content creator in the community that can be reliable in a buy or not to buy situation. Also considering the fact that some of them are starting to get busy with their own personal life, so I may as well do some lifting for the community. Which YouTubers do you look up to? Starting off my channel, I was really inspired by creators outside the yoyoing community, namely Coop772. He does Nerf reviews and I've always thought that having someone like him in the yoyoing community could really boost the market. And JobbyTheHong. He's also a reviewer but caters more on figures and Transformers, but he really inspired me by having a good sense of humor in my reviews.
But Jobby, the items were green in the show, you
which can really benefit the viewer since it makes things a lot less boring. What was your first yo-yo you still have today? Well, the first yo-yo I really owned was that really cheap plastic yo-yo, but I lost it, so when I did get a new yo-yo, it was the Iron Loom from Blazing Teens. I still have it actually, but it's hidden so I can't really get it. Wait, no, I think I still have... Yep, found it. Here it is, it's still in the box. Yeah man, a lot of good yeah, no, this thing was dog shit. What's your favorite cartoon growing up? 100% Adventure Time. An absolute gold medalist of a cartoon. The cool thing about Adventure Time was that while I was growing up, the show and its plot was growing up with me. And I was thinking of rewatching it sometime, so yeah, that'd be interesting. Monometals or Bimetals? If you've been in my channel for a long time, you know that back then, before I had more quality uploads, I had an educational video explaining the pros and cons of Bimetals and Monometals. But to be frank, I don't think one can be better than the other indefinitely. Monometals just have a natural feel and ring to them that almost no Bimetal can recreate, but Bimetals also have a stronger control on where to put its weight distribution. So if it were to me, just go for a plastic yo-yo. Who are your favorite yo-yo players? Hajime Miura for obvious reasons, Daniel Kim because his style and aesthetic for how he plays just looks so cool, and Shota Saga mainly for how interesting his combos are. Next question, how did you get your film setup so crisp? Honestly, I don't even think I'm the most crisp yo-yo player out there, especially in content creation. There are a lot of good yo-yo YouTubers out there that have incredible cinematography, lighting, and aesthetics. But currently, my setup revolves around 4 main components. The lights, which are 2 to 3 lamps that surround my room, a black light on top that makes the string easier to see. My top view camera is a Fujifilm X-T20 accompanied by this Canon EOS 700D. And for my POV shots, I use a GoPro Hero 10 that's attached to a quick release magnet to quickly check my setup. Do you ever get tired of recording things? Why? Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of moments where I just want to unbox a yo-yo without having the need to record it, and in the opposite case, there'd be moments where I hit a pretty cool trick or figure out a really cool combo, but forgetting the fact that I didn't capture it at all, and so it's a lost cause. If you get sponsored by a yo-yo company, which would it be? This is an interesting one, because I haven't really thought about becoming sponsored since I'm not exactly the most competitive player. I was interested in working with Unparalleled and a few other yo-yo companies, but with how busy I am with my current collaborations and lifestyle, it's gonna be tough for me to even contribute to a sponsor's requests. But you know, the doors are still open. What's your video editing workflow? Well, it starts with the package. Once it arrives, I immediately set up my table for a recording session of the unboxing. I record the audio with the Elgato Wave 3 USB microphone, the one I'm using right now, and for the visuals, I use the Fujifilm X-T20. Once I unbox the yo-yo, I immediately record the tricks so I can capture my first impressions too. Then once I'm done with the tricks, I go to the table again and do the comparison part. And when I finish all the clips I need, I go to my editing software and finish the video there. Then I get the thumbnail and the description ready for the video and upload it. You know, a funny thing I noticed about my videos, if you've watched all my reviews from the first one to the most recent one, you'll notice that it gets better after each video. And each one almost has a drastic upgrade from the previous one, and that sounds cool and all, but the thing is, if you watch it the other way around, each video gets more and more obnoxious and terrible. Especially my first review, like, what the hell is this? When your audience gets bigger, how do you think you'll handle the fame, the recognition, and the hate? First of all, look at it this way. In the yoyoing community, when it comes to YouTube, the highest number of views you can find are from shorts. And at best, they can generate about tens of millions of views, while normal video formats can be at best generate a few million. So with the type of content I'm making, generally focusing on reviews, some humor, and a couple others, I don't really expect that much fame or recognition from my channel. Since with a similar format to older yo-yo YouTubers, they can generate about a few 100,000 views every so often. But when I do get a more broader audience, I think I'll be able to handle them. Do you have any plans on creating your own yo-yo one day? Well, actually, that would be pretty interesting. I do have a few sketches on what yo-yo I might want, and my design isn't actually the most unique design, but I'd say a yo-yo named after me would be pretty nice to have. Did you ever have any thoughts that you won't go far? If so, how did you deal with it? Oh, I definitely did. At first it did feel like I was going really slow, and it felt really hopeless. But over time, the views started coming in and more people started finding my channel. And so I really am grateful that you guys have supported me throughout my time of being a channel. Anyways, I think that wraps up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this kind of video, be sure to let me know down in the comments. This was definitely a bit of a challenge since I don't do these kinds of videos that often, but it is quite nice to make something different for a change. If you guys still have any more questions, leave it down in the comments and I'll get to it when I can. And with that out of the way, thank you guys for watching and see you on the next one.